What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you've read the title, today we will be talking about the complete farming progression guide. As usual on this series, we will be separating this video into 4 separate sections, being the island progression, the tools progression, the armor progression, and the pets progression. I will be placing timestamps for each section in the comment or in the video description. So if you only want one specific one, you can simply go down there and click to the timestamp you need. Additionally, before this video starts, I just want to thank you guys so much for all of the support recently, and we have just hit 1,000 subscribers on the channel. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much. I suppose our next goal for the channel is going to be 10,000 subscribers. I don't know if it's a very viable goal, but we'll try our best. So if you end up enjoying this video or learning anything new, please like and subscribe. And I've held you guys long enough, so let's get right into the video. Part 1 of this progression guide will be based on the different areas and locations where you can do farming. The first early game area for farming, and honestly it's actually pretty good, is pretty much farming wheat in public islands. As you can see, I can just take a hoe, and when you start, you pretty much just want to go and immediately start farming wheat in this area. Doing so, especially when Jacob has a contest, will make it so you can get a lot of initial farming XP and farming collections. And if there is a Jacob contest active, you can then even get up to a bronze medal if you try really hard in these public islands. The next area you would want to go to is the barn. The barn has a pretty expansive amount of crops, and you can pretty much unlock a lot of crops here. So if you want wheat, you probably already have it, but you can try and get it if you don't have it from the hub. You can unlock pumpkins here, you can unlock melons here, and also if you go up here, you can actually find potatoes and carrots. So going into the barn is a very good idea to unlock a lot of your farming collections. Additionally, if you want to unlock the collections for some animals, you can also come and kill animals here for those collections. The third public farming island is the Mushroom Desert. Here you can unlock collections for things such as cactus, sugarcane, and cocoa beans. Unlocking these collections here is also pretty much your best bet, and you can unlock also a lot of other animal collections such as rabbits. Although you should first start off with the 3 public islands when starting with farming, you should very quickly move on to a farm on your private island. For example, I chose to go with pumpkin, and each crop really has its own properties, so just look up at what the crops do and choose one that fits you the best. Here I chose pumpkin. As you can see, you can simply build giant farms and farm them in whatever method you wish. For example, here for pumpkins, I just farm pumpkins sideways like this. It's a very simple thing. You just have to hold 2 buttons, and it's very simple. Pretty much for crop wise, I'm not an expert in each crop, but pumpkin is the best for XP. Sugarcane is the second best for XP and gives you more money than pumpkin. Carrot and potato give you less XP even than sugarcane, but give you more money. And the final one, which is netherwort, gives you the most money but doesn't even give you farming XP, and only gives you alchemy XP. I chose pumpkin because I really wanted to level up my farming, but it's really up to you which crop you want to do. So pretty much for farming islands, you can start off in either the hub, the barn, or the mushroom desert, but you should quickly build a farm of the crop you choose, or build multiple farms of different crops. Now that we've covered pretty much all the farming islands, let's move on to the second part of our video, which is going to be farming tool progression. The first, and honestly a pretty good farming tool you can get, is simply by talking to the farm merchant, where you can buy the rookie hoe for 10 coins. This hoe gives you a 50% chance to drop seeds, and pretty much otherwise it's just a regular hoe. It's a very good early game hoe, this is actually my first rookie hoe. And you can simply come and use it here or in any of the public islands to farm any crop you want. However, once you get a few medals, you should definitely try to get a gold medal, or ask someone that has a gold medal to buy a hoe from them, where you can go and talk to Anita and then get one of the T1 hoes. you need a mathematical hoe blueprint, which you can upgrade to any hoe. Additionally, some crops require dicers instead of hoes, for example melon dicer, cocoa chopper, pumpkin dicer, and fungi cutter, and these ones will require a dicer instead of a mathematical hoe. The progression for dicers is much more simple than for hoes, so I'll first start off with those. Pretty much for a dicer, there's nothing much you can do. You just buy a dicer and get as many good enchants and reforges, and you can recombobulate it if you want, as you can on it, and that's pretty much it for the dicer. However, for hoes, you will first start off with a T1 hoe, but then you can actually upgrade its tier up to tier 3. Additionally, depending on the tier of hoe, once you reach a certain counter with it, it will increase in rarity. So the highest rarity for a hoe is actually legendary, and you can then recomb it to mythic. Simply choose a crop that you really want to do, and then get a hoe and get it to as high a tier as you're able to afford. Overall, that is pretty much it in terms of farming progression. And I'm only considering the main farming tools here and not the support tools such as the hoe of greater tilling or anything, which will be more related to building the farm instead of actually farming. So now let's move on to the third part of our video, which is going to be farming armor progression. Pretty much in terms of farming armor, there isn't that much you can choose from, and the only two actual farming armor pieces are the farmer's boots. So let me just farm suit boots, which for some reason don't appear here. Okay, here we go. The farm suit boots, which just give you speed based on your farming level, or when you're near farming minions or farming islands. I see. Okay, so the farmer boots are alright, but you should quickly move on to get the rancher boots. So for example, these are my rancher boots, and you can actually set what speed you have for these rancher boots, which are very useful when making sure you want to break each crop. The rancher boots are pretty good, but another option you can actually go for is full young dragon armor, especially for farms such as pumpkin, where you're pretty much limited by your speed. However, it's still probably better to get like 3/4 young and rancher boots. I just get full young because I actually use full young outside of farming as well. And if you want to, you can also just use only rancher boots, and that will also give you substantial amounts of speed. As you can see, I still have 400 speed wearing only rancher boots in Godpot. Additionally, the buff the rancher boost provides is also very good, making it so you don't trample any of your crops. And that's pretty important for a lot of crops. Some crops have their crops covered, so like you probably wouldn't care much about pumpkin, melon, sugarcane, and cocoa. So these crops usually don't care much about trampling, but maybe for some other crops such as carrots, potatoes, you might actually trample them, and it's very annoying as you have to go hoe the dirt, till the dirt, and then plant the crops again. So it's a pretty useful buff to have so you don't trample your crops. Now that we've seen what armors you should get for farming, let's move on to the final part of this guide, or I guess progression guide, which is farming pets. Pretty much 2 farming pets dominate the whole entire farming meta right now, and these are the rabbit and the elephant. Let's first talk about the rabbit pet. So as you can see, I only have a level 89 rabbit pet, but at level 100, a rabbit pet gives you the buff of giving you plus 30% farming XP. So if you want maximum farming XP, this is the way to go. Additionally, it also boosts farming minions while you're on your island, so if you're using farming minions, that might also be useful. Usually, a legendary rabbit pet is pretty much the go-to pet, especially for early game and even end game. And if you really want to, for example, participate in Jacob contests and simply want to make more money off of your farming, then you should be going for a legendary elephant pet. The legendary elephant pet gives you a lot of farming fortune, and therefore will make you get a lot more crops when farming. So pretty much the balance here is, if you want to farm for farming XP like I do, that's why I have a pumpkin farm, I recommend using a rabbit pet. But if you want to be competitive in Jacob contests and get gold medals, or simply make more money off of farming, then I recommend using the elephant pet. Well guys, I think that pretty much wraps up this video about the complete farming progression guide. Its farming is honestly, in terms of gear, is quite simple. The only really complicated part here is going to be hose, mathematical hose, which have a bit more detail to them. However, everything else is pretty much maximize your speed, use rancher boots if you don't want to trample crops, build your own farms, and get a rabbit or an elephant based on if you want XP or more money. But overall guys, if you enjoyed this video or found it useful in any way, please leave a like and subscribe and join our team here on the channel. Once again, thank you guys so much for all the support and 1,000 subscribers on the channel. So please keep supporting the channel, and if you're new, subscribe and join this community. But that's pretty much it guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.